Hi everyone, this is a movie for Excel Chapter 2, Pause and Practice number 3. This is movie number 2 and we're picking up on step 5 on page E2-127. That is the step about using the VLOOKUP to display costs. So let's analyze what the situation is first before we just start blindly typing in this information. So first of all, what is a lookup table? Well, you can have two different kinds. You can have a VLOOKUP or an HLOOKUP. They really do the same thing. The only difference would be the orientation of your table that you're looking at something up. So this is where we're going to put the command, the function to look up the cost based on the product ID. So let's go see where we're looking it up at. So if we go over to rates and tables, you can see that this is a vertically oriented table, so we would use a VLOOKUP. If the product IDs were across the top, that would be an HLOOKUP, a horizontal. In all the years that I have worked on Excel, which has been numerous, almost always it's a VLOOKUP, just because you tend to put the unique identifier or the thing that you're looking up in a column and then the information to the right of it. So this is the lookup table. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and find from merchandise. Okay, so here's PLR 011. So we're going to say, okay, come over here and in this column find the match. There it is. Then come over 1, 2, 3 columns and pull the data. Okay, we could have done 2 columns and pulled the name of the item, but what we're looking for is cost. So there's 3 things that you care about. 1, what are you looking up? 2, where is the table, and where is the table that we're using to look it up at? What you're looking up always has to be the first column or the top row. Then you have to say which column you're returning. And one of the things about columns, it's not column A, B, or C. It's within this table, is it the first column, 2, 3, 4, 5? It could be, it's a number. All right, so let's go and try and put this in. So there's a couple things that we want to make sure that we do. When we are defining the table that you're using to look up, it is always absolutely referenced because the table doesn't move, right? So for all of these products, we're still going back to the same table in the same spot, so we need to lock that in with an absolute. So let's put our cursor in C4, and the easiest way to start learning this is to do lookup and reference, because that's what we're doing. We're looking something up. VLOOKUP, a vertical. The stuff that I'm looking up is in a column. So it brings it up, and look, there's 3 things that are required and then an optional, and I'll talk about that when we get to that. So the first piece is, what are we looking up? So for this cell, what I'm trying to find is the cost for this product number. So the lookup value is the product, right? PLR 011, so the contents of cell A4. The next piece is, where is my table or array? Well, it's not on this sheet. I have to go to, excuse me, I have to go to the rates and tables sheet, and then I pick, I don't include the labels. I start with the actual values and I select everything in the lookup. Okay, so if I had 6 rows or columns, I would do all 6. Relative right now, we need to make it absolute, so I'm going to hit my F4 key and look, it's locked in now. So when I copy this VLOOKUP, because I don't want to have to do it more than once, it's going to be locked in and always find that. The third piece is, what column is the answer that's going to be returned? And we have 3 columns in our lookup, right? The first one was the product ID, the second one was the name of the item, and the third one was the cost, which is what we want. So we're going to type a 3 in. So look, we're returning 875. and that's the actual price. And then I want to talk about the lookup range. By default, if you leave that off, its lookup range is set to a true, which means it's a range of values, so it's greater than or equal to this, but less than the next value in the lookup. So thinking about like your grades. So if we were setting up a lookup table for grades, 90, the first, well, you know what, I'm gonna, let's just type false and I'll put one in for you to show you. So we're gonna do false, which means it has to be an exact match. So we're gonna do okay. And then all I have to do is copy that down. I'm just gonna double click and it puts it down. So let's just validate. Flashlight 875, and that's right. Let's pick another thing. Portable table, PLR 004750, PLR 0750, so it's working. Okay, so let me show you just real quick. So let's say I'm setting up grades, a lookup table for grades. So it will tell me, if you have, this would be a lookup table where I'm looking up a student's grade. So this might be a student's grade. This might be a student's grade, right? So I'm looking up here, I want to return the letter grade. Well, we all know that's an A and we know that's a C, but here's how the system would do it. It would do a VLOOKUP where the lookup value is here. Okay, this student got a 0.93. The table is here. The column that we're turning is the second one because we want the letter, and we're going to leave that one blank. So what that says to the system when I leave it blank is, if this value is greater or equal to 0.9, they're going to get an A. If it's not, if it is not greater than or equal to 0.9, it would move down. So is it less than or equal to 0.9 but greater than or equal to 0.8? If that's true, it's going to be an H. So you see, it's like a range. Any number between those two would produce the result. So I'm going to do that. Oops, I got these in the wrong order. They're supposed to be in, oh Helen, that was really bad. Needs to be in ascending order. There we go. So when you're doing this list with a range, you want to sort it, and that's my bad, I put it in the wrong order. So then I'm going to copy this down, right? But I need to make this absolute because I did not do that when I was talking. And so now if I'm going to copy that down, it got it. And I could keep doing that, right? So I could do a 0.5, do 8.6, do a 8.9, and let's just see if it works. I got an F, B, a B, right? So let's do one that's right on the, right? So 0.8 because it includes this value but less than the one above it, includes this value but less than the one. So that's when you have the VLOOKUP and you leave the last item off, or you put the word true, but you don't have to. False means it has to match this value exactly. So that would be product number or part number, you know, those kind of things where it's an exact match. Okay, so that's the VLOOKUP. Hopefully that makes sense to you and you understand all the parameters of that. The next thing we're going to do is the sum product. And you know what, I'm going to start the next movie because that also takes a little bit of explanation. So I'm going to stop the movie here and we'll do step 6 in the next movie. All right guys, thanks.